What is poppin', y'all? Welcome back to another film review. Today we're taking a look at a movie called Smile. I did go to see this with my girlfriend. It is the only horror movie that we watched in cinema, and we watched it at the Trafford Centre, which is our second date movie at the cinema, which I think is quite cool. But we're taking a look at the actual movie, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think the movie is that spectacular. It had a really nice build-up, but ended really poorly. So, without further ado, let's take a look at the film, talk about the film's plot a little bit, and then we'll go into my opinions at the end. The same sort of process that we do for all other film reviews, and I will be writing scripts later on. I don't have time now, and I've already pre-recorded this one, so this is my little future Tyler editing in. But anyway, I'll leave you back to other Tyler, where he'll talk to you about the movie. After witnessing a bizarre traumatic incident involving a patient, Dr. Rose Cotter starts experiencing frightening occurrences that she can't explain as an overwhelming terror begins to take over her life. Rose must confront her troubling past in order to survive and escape her horrifying new reality. So, Rose is a scientist, not a scientist, I forgot what they're called, a therapist, there we go, that's what they are. So she's sat with a client who's telling her about what she's seeing people smile, she's seeing a monster, and it's haunting her life and no one believes her. Everyone thinks she's crazy. She then goes off on one as she sees something in the room, and then cuts her face off. Now, Rose saw her kill herself, so that means the curse has been passed on to her, because that's how the curse works. You see someone get killed, or kill themselves with that curse, the curse then passes to you, because it's passed through trauma and sort of anger and fear. So that's how it was passed on to Rose. Rose then leaves the hospital, gets told to have a couple of days off, as obviously trauma and someone just killed themselves in front of her, so she gets given a day off or two, a week off to sort of relax at home, and then weird stuff starts happening at home. She starts having nightmares, starts having dreams of this creature, of people smiling at her. She's walking around the hospital and there's people just smiling at her. And there's crazy things happening, and she's looking more and more into this sort of smile demon. So she goes online and looks at it and sees people killing themselves while smiling, and she goes down this massive rabbit hole, tracing it back further and further and further until she can find the origin. Unfortunately, she can't find the origin as there is gaps in the timeline, but she does see people go from like football stadiums to gas stations to killing themselves, and then obviously the tracker and the sort of stuff follows them. Because her partner or her best friend is a police detective, she is questioning him and helping him go for it. There is only one person who managed to outbeat it, and he's now in prison, and how he did it was he killed someone else, and that's why he's in prison. So the only way to get rid of it is kill another person. And she goes back to her therapist, psych ward place, and tries to kill a patient. Yeah, that didn't go down too well, and she didn't actually go through with it. She didn't actually want to kill anyone. So she was trying to find a different way to do it. And she thought, hey, I can do it if I kill myself when I'm alone, when no one sees me. So she went off all on her own into the cabin in the woods, but her best friend was following her. Her best friend decided, you know what, she needs help. She can't be on her own. She needs someone to be there with her. She needs help. She isn't stable on her own, and I'm the good best friend who's going to help her out. So he follows her, and while she's dealing with all this trauma in her old family house, where her mum was abusive, and the monster turns into her mum, and then turns into this big, skinny sort of flesh monster with 3 different mouths and really disgusting, meaty, fleshy creature that's just walking around. Looks like a skinned humanoid, or like a Titan from Attack on Titan that's been skinned. That's what it sort of looks like and sort of resembles to me. And then it starts to kill her and suck her life out of her, and her boyfriend walks in and sees it, so now it's passed to the boyfriend, and that's where the movie ends. If I'm being honest, I thought it was quite of a cool concept movie. I thought it was quite scary. What normally scares me isn't supernatural stuff. If it's like a haunted doll, if it's like a haunted item, or if it's ghosts and ghouls or monsters, it's not as scary to me. Like, if it's a werewolf, I'm like, right, cool. I can be attacked by a wolf, yes, but I can't be attacked by a werewolf. So it's not as scary. But when people are smiling and killing themselves in front of you, and when you're having nightmarish, terrifying visions, that's what was actually terrifying to me. There was a couple of jump scares that got me. There was like 3 or 4 of them. Only one of them got my girlfriend, and she absolutely loved it, and she rewatched it again and again at home because it sort of stuck with her, and she liked that jump scare. And yeah, I was just... At the end of the movie, I got less and less scared as I found out it was a big monster and it was like a curse and a demon. I'm like, okay, this isn't real. This has gone far-fetched now. I don't like this. It's just boring. It's just another demon movie. It's not scary. I can deal with this. I can handle this. So I thought it had a really weak finish. But again, that's my opinion and what I'm more scared by. I'm more scared by very sort of subtle scares with like house invasions where people are sort of living in your house and you don't know about it, or you as a viewer do, but people at home, no, people that actually are in the movie don't know about the person living in the house, or serial killers like Saw. Saw could theoretically happen. Saw could be a realistic movie. Same with Human Centipede. Both of those things could actually happen, so they're scary to me. I could go and ask for help for some guy and he could attach my ass to someone else's face. I don't like that. That is scary to me. I could get drugged in the car park and get taken to a facility and put in a saw trap. That's quite realistic. That can happen if someone has the budget, so that is scary to me. A random demon showing up, again, I don't believe in the supernatural. I don't believe in, like, demons and stuff. So I don't get scared by this. So it's quite an underwhelming finish to the movie for a quite strong movie, if I'm going to be honest. It has a really good opener and has really good camera shots. It is filmed in such a way that the characters have a fuzzy, blurry background, and the focus of the shot is more or less on the background instead of the foreground and the character. It does this so then you can sort of see the background and expect something to happen and expect something to come out. And that's what a lot of horror movies do, but this does it quite a lot. So you're always on the edge of your seat, always expecting something. And then when you start to, like, you know what, they're showing the background quite a lot, nothing's actually going to be there, you start to lower your guard, and that's when they hit you with a jump scare. So they're quite impactful and quite resourceful with their jump scares, and I quite like that. The actors are really good as well. We have a load of different actors in here, a load of grade A actors. We have A-Train from The Boys as Rose's boyfriend, and he doesn't believe her, and he tells her to go to therapy herself. Again, going through a traumatic experience with someone killing themselves in front of you, you're obviously going to get scared by it. You're obviously going to have some trauma from that. So, obviously, I understand where he's coming from. However, with the rest of this movie, I think some of it goes over the top with some of the murders. But again, it is quite gory, it is quite gruesome. And I think some of the murders and some of the times people kill themselves are quite interesting and quite creative. Just with how they're doing it. Like, someone was killed at the gas station, and how they did that and how they sort of showed that through the CCTV, and you could sort of pick up when they're no longer them, when the demon takes over, when they sort of absolutely lose it. And I like that. I like the sort of subtle sort of change and the subtle click in their heads that goes from them to the monster, or them to the demon, whatever it is. It's a weird creature. But the sets for this are quite basic, again, just being a pretty rich house. I don't know how they can afford that house, but it's incredible. It's a very nice house in the middle of the woods. And some of the sort of scares are quite interesting as well, where, especially the one where she went to the birthday party and sort of gave the kid a dead cat, and then the camera angles around that sort of focused on her face and followed her face around at the party to show the sort of fear, confusion, and sort of anguish that she was feeling in that situation. So I love the emotion that this film gets. I didn't cry at this film. This film wasn't really like a joyful one. It didn't bring me joy, but it did have me on the edge of my seat, but it did start losing me towards the end as it had a very sort of weak ending. I'm going to keep coming back to that weak ending because it was a big disappointment for me. I was quite hyped with this movie and the promotion around this movie because how they promoted it was really interesting, with people dotted around like America and the UK, and I think it was like all over the world, but people would just stand and smile holding a sign for the movie and look at the like football cameras, just stand on the street and look at you smiling menacingly. And that is such a good, unique way of making promotion for your film. Instead of doing posters and trailers, which they were already doing, it was just that little bit extra, which they sort of put in there as well. Again, it is quite a weak movie. I am going to give it a 6 out of 10. It isn't the best movie. There is loads of other horror movies out there which I think are a lot better. So it is around the middle 5, 6 area, the middle ground of movies. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed this YouTube video. That is my opinion on Smile. That is what I think about the movie Smile. I'll see you all in the next one. Have a nice day, and goodbye. Stay home and stay safe. I'm also helping Thankmas, so there is going to be a link to Thankmas down below in the description of this video. If you can help, please do help, because it does mean a lot to me. But if you can't, that is also completely fine. I don't expect you to, but if you want to and if you can, it'll be greatly appreciated. There is another link down there, which is my Linktree, which will be able to get to all my other stuff, all my other media forms, if you want to, because I have a lot of other stuff to offer, from TikTok to OF to Instagram, all the other forms of social media you can think of. So other than that, that's all from me. Bye-bye.